You know that this is going to happen. Like, if you look at this pragmatically, we could have told you, not knowing exactly how good the Mets and the Yankees would be, but we could have told you we'll be going nuts for the 2 games at City and the 2 games in the Bronx. But really, the season will be defined by everything else
of course,
around those games. And I got to tell you, and I'm just going to hand it off to Tiki. He walks in. Now, I'm talking about the Subway Series. Tiki walks in this morning. He says, Mets have bigger concerns than the Subway Series.
No doubt about it.
So I'm laying out, and let's hear what you mean by that.
First of all, this was fantastic for Yankee fans because they needed to get back on track. They got back on track with the 2 wins. Actually, the 3 in a row now, 3 wins in a row. They feel like Aaron Judge is back on track. He had a 9-game streak without hitting a home run.
That ball was mashed.
He's mashed. It's a poor Taijuan Walker. He just threw that. It was meat, dude. He just crushed it. He has no movement in his fastball. It's just sitting right there all over the plate. Aaron Judge turned on it and hit it deep, man. But, Aaron Judge is back on track. And Andrew Benintendi, who we talked about yesterday, is a perfect leadoff man. If DJ gets healthy, that 1-2-3 for the Yankees is going to be exciting, much less Stanton. So that's what we take away from this Subway Series. The Yankees got themselves back on track, and I heard Gio and Boomer talking about this as well, how the Mets are in the easy part of their schedule right now, at least an easier a couple of days because of how bad the Yankees were playing. But that's not the issue. I mean, who cares about the Subway Series as it pertains to the Mets? Yes, the Yankees needed it. I'm not discounting that. The Yankees needed this. The Mets, however, all of a sudden lose 2 in a row to the New York Yankees. The Braves, meanwhile, keep winning. The Braves are quietly, as crazy as that sounds, because we're so focused on the Subway Series, the Braves are quietly a game and a half behind the Mets right now.
2.
I mean, two and a half games behind the Mets right now.
The Braves are playing today, so when they beat the Pirates.
They're going to beat the Pirates, so they're going to be a game and a half behind.
2.
Exactly. The game and a half behind the Mets after this afternoon. And the Mets don't have it easy. I know Colorado doesn't feel like a great team, but they're a team that could beat you. So they got Colorado for 4. Now they're coming to City. This is a good thing because Colorado is a team that has struggled. I think they only have 18 wins on the road, 18-37. I think is their road record this year. So Colorado is a team that they need to be focused on. Most importantly, forget the Subway Series because after that they have the Dodgers for 3, and so all of a sudden, this division, which felt like it was in the Mets' control after the Philly series and this supposed easy series against the Yankees, the division is now up in the air for the Mets. So forget the Subway Series if you're the Mets. Champion it if you're the Yankees because you needed it. But if you're the Mets right now, there's bigger fish to fry than worrying about bragging rights of the Subway Series.
Let me ask you a question. Are you gonna? I hate when you do that. You put me in the position of carrying the baton for the Met fan early. But let me ask you this question.
But I like that because there's so many people that think you hate the Mets.
Hey, it shows off the versatility.
Exactly.
I don't really disagree with what you said. But let's say instead of a moderately deep fly ball from Lindor last night to end the game, let's say that finds a gap and the Yankees lose, meaning the Mets win. What are you coming in saying today?
I'm saying that the Mets are still that team. They are that team that finds ways, despite not having the best stuff out of their starting pitcher, even though Taijuan Walker,
he was fine. He did his job.
He did his job. He gave up a home run to Judge.
So what?
He always gives
up. Scherzer.
But my point is he always gives up home runs to Judge. What is this, 4 in a row that he's hit home runs off of him against Taijuan Walker? Taijuan Walker was fine. He wasn't elite, but you didn't expect him to be elite coming off of a little bit of a back injury. But if the Mets had won, we'd still be saying, well, these are the Mets.
Okay.
These are the Mets that we've talked about this entire time.
That's what I thought you'd say.
And it's not even about whether they won or lost or who they are, because we know who they are. My point is the Braves are sneaking up. Now, the Braves got to take care of business, obviously, against the Pirates tonight. But if they do, they're a game and a half back, and they got a little bit. Now, obviously, the Mets have a schedule that eases out going forward. But
after the Dodgers series,
let's just say they split with the Colorado Rockies, and then they lose 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers, and the Braves just keep winning. All of a sudden, early September, the Mets for the first time don't have control of the division, that's gonna feel pressure.
Let me ask you this as well. I know it's different in football because it's not that you never check the standings. Clearly you do.
You have to in football.
Of course. But baseball's different. It goes back to, back in the day, like checking the scoreboard when you're at the game, before phones, pennant races. Do you think that there's real symbolism? Now, I don't think that the Mets necessarily relinquish this lead. I wouldn't use the word worried for you, but you are choosing to illuminate something that I would not have illuminated out of the chute myself, but I respect that's all good. Do you think that if the Mets relinquish the lead, even if it's by half a game, that it really means something from a the psyche point of view?
Maybe not for the Mets.
Maybe
not from the Mets player.
Forget about the Braves, for the Mets.
It's not for the Met player because I think they have the best skip in baseball right now. I mean, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. You can just give Buck the award right now for the manager of the year. Just give it to Buck Showalter because of what he's done, how he's turned this team around, how he's got the psyche. He fixed the clubhouse, the whole Jeff McNeil, Lindor thing that we talked about at the beginning of the season. You got role players playing fantastic. You got guys that need to step into roles playing fantastic. David Peterson, Tyler McGill at the beginning of the season.
He knows every rule.
He knows every rule.
No, he's great.
They take advantage of everything, all the bunting to advance runners. You see it every night.
Nito, the professional bunter.
It almost gets annoying, but look, you got Thomas Nito at the plate. He's not going to do jack else. Bunt, dude.
He laid down 2 good ones, too. He really did.
That's exactly right. So you call on the guy who's not hitting to do what he needs to do to get a guy over, which is important. So Buck Showalter has this clubhouse in check, and they are on point. But for me, it's not about the Mets themselves. It's about the perceptual feel of the Met fan.
He's talking to you, Met fans. He's talking to you.
Met fan, you know what I'm talking about.
Here we go.
And I'm not a Met fan.
The vulnerable Mets fan.
But I listen to Met fans all day, right? And the only thing,
kind of our job.
I hear you. Obviously
your
on radio, I'm talking about my
you.
buddies are Mets fans, so I hear it. Oh, if they would give up the lead. If we give up the division. Oh, if the Braves get the defending champions, if they get on top of us, what are we going to do? Woe is me. We blew it. We had a 15-game lead at one point.
But I thought it was different. Stevie Cohen's in town. They can't still subscribe to that. That's all I've heard.
It is different.
It's the new Mets.
If all of a sudden, and it's been a long time, VT, it's been a long time since anyone other than the Mets are sitting atop the NL East. If the Braves just creep up there, even if it's by a half a game, right?
Yes.
It's going to feel different for the Mets
fans.
For
the fans, but not the players, which is really all that matters.
Of course, but the fans are who we talk to.
That's true. 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Now, just to give you a little peek, because we know that the schedule softens after the Dodgers series. I have the next 10 for the Braves and the next 10 for the Mets. Then we'll get to the phones here. So the Braves wrap up with the Pirates today. They should squish them like a bug on a windshield again. And then 3 in St. Louis, where they face the great lefty known as Jordan Montgomery. All right. And then you got 6 at home with the Rockies, and we'll see the Rockies up close beginning tomorrow at City. And then 3 with the Marlins. That's the Braves. So 1 with the Pirates, 3 in St. Louis, and then 6 Rockies, Marlins combined. The Mets, 4 with Colorado, 3 with the Dodgers, and that is where it gets hard, and then that is where it gets easy the rest of the way. You raise a fair concern. I get it. I wouldn't classify it as a grave concern. I'm not even so sure that you are.
No.
But I get it.
It's just a perceptual thing.
But I've also told everybody, if you discarded the Braves a month and a half ago, then you are surprised. You are nervous. That's on you. I told you not to do that.
Yeah.
I told you the Braves were going nowhere. Braves are legit. So are the Mets. Let's see how legit. Look at you sounding the alarm out of the... I couldn't even enjoy the Yankee win. You got to pull me into the Mets. Forecasting some Mets malaise, Barber.
My bad.
Come on, dude.
I'm not saying anything other than the Braves are right there all of a sudden.
They are. That is true. All right, Pete's in Brooklyn. First up on the Fan, Tiki and Tierney. Pete, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's up?
That pop-up that Alonso missed, Marte and McNeil had a jump on that ball. and they saw Alonso coming quick, and they don't want to have a collision. Alonso's got to learn to have the better fielders catch that
Pete,
ball.
let me tell you, Pete. Pete, listen, you say whatever you want. That's first baseman's play 1,000 out of 1,000 times. I don't care who you are.
but
It's Alonso. You got to make the play.
Marte had it.
Yeah, but are you saying that simply because Pete Alonso's not a great fielding first baseman? He's okay. He's good.
He's solid on the
He's
pitch,
solid,
you know.
but because he's not a great athlete over
Doesn't
there.
matter.
I mean, is that what you're
He
saying?
had to run, but he had to run 100 feet. Marte, they slowed down. Marte had a beat on it, and McNeil had a better angle. Alonso was making circles over there.
Yeah, but you have to understand this. No,
changed the
but Pete,
whole
but Pete, in real time, okay? It's almost like remember the play with Hicks the other night? Now, obviously, Hicks was by himself, isolated in center field when he spun around 3 different times, and didn't even get leather on the ball.
That was his last time in the field, wasn't it?
I think he played once more after that. Yeah, he did.
One more. You're right.
But that is obviously different than being in a position where multiple positions could bail you out. And I'm all for the athlete, the second baseman going, but that's not there. That's Alonso's ball. Yeah. Now, that's all there is to it. And Alonso has to make that play. Everybody knows it. He's had a phenomenal season. He's in a funk, all right? Tripping around third base. But, Gleyber Torres, I just can't take it anymore.
He let him off the hook.
He doesn't have an ounce of awareness in his body, Gleyber Torres. He has no baseball IQ.
So where does that?
He has no instincts.
Yeah, I don't want to get down a rabbit hole.
But it's a big play.
Torres, but it was a huge play. Ultimately, they were able to get out of it, but at least without only giving up one run there. Who should have told him?
IKF was telling him.
Or should he have been aware?
Well, you got to be aware. The play, you have to be. I understand that you kind of.
He didn't even look home.
100%.
But he didn't even look. That's my point.
It was an egregious
miss.
I was going to say miss or lack of reaction from a professional baseball player.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just that. We don't need to belabor that. IKF was pointing home and yelling home, and he still didn't do anything. He's, all right, let's get Paul and Jackson. What's going on, Paul? How are you today?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Good. What's up, Paul?
Tiki, man, I love that you were a Redskin fan, but I can't stand you as a Giant.
I appreciate you.
But PT, I'm a big Met fan. You got to play this song for us, man. We need it.
Ooh, maybe we can put that request in for you. We'll see how you guys behave today.
I mean, you lost, though.
Thanks, guys.
Paul, you lost.
That's it? Wait, so we just call with requests?
You lost, though,
wow.
Paul. I mean, do you need it? Do you need that uplifting that bad after the Subway Series?
Yeah, well, because BT played it Friday, and we did good against the Phillies.
That's true. That's true. I'll see what I can do for you guys, Paul. As I said, depending upon how you guys behave the first hour of the show.
Hey, they got to earn that, BT.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Depends upon how they behave the first hour of the show.
The players themselves did not earn it. So it's the fans that got to earn it for the Mets.
Yes, I like that. Now remember when I first started playing the song.
I like that I make rules now.
Yeah, I know. Like in late February, for whatever, maybe I was bored. There was nothing else to talk about. Late February, I just started playing the song, and it's kind of taken on this life of its own somewhat. I did attach a couple of rules here. Now I can use it to reward. Okay. I could also use it to mock, perhaps, and to chastise, but I could also use it to inspire. And we'll see how the first hour goes, and we'll see how Met fans behave.
And they're not playing today, so they don't need inspiration.
Yeah, that's true.
So leave it on the shelf.
We'll see. That's my decision, Mr. Barber. Phil's in River Edge, New Jersey. What's happening, Phil? How are you?
Hey, guys. How we doing?
We're good, bro.
Good.
I'm a big Met fan. I always bust you, BT, so I got to be a little humble here today, right? I need a little humble pie. But I got a question for the both of you.
Go ahead.
And I was listening to SNY last night, and it was alternating between Spanish and English. Did you guys, what was going on there?
I watched the SNY. I did not watch TBS. I watched SNY the entire game. I watched, primarily the night before, though I watched some SNY. I watched all SNY last night. I didn't catch a word of Spanish.
Yeah, I didn't.
What the heck?
I didn't hear about that either.
Heck?
I was
don't know.
listening to the Amazon feed, actually. I had it on Amazon Prime, which was K.
Yeah.
So, no, I didn't hear that.
That is so crazy. And I was talking to my son-in-law. He heard the same thing. So I don't know what that was
Well,
about.
Phil, let me ask you this, Phil. Was it like a faint, barely audible dialogue in the background, or was it bleeding out and overwhelming Ron, Keith, and Gary?
No, you didn't hear them. And then the next inning, you'd hear them. But what I ended up, I don't know, it alternated one inning to the next. And what I ended up doing, which is kind of strange, I muted it and put on Howie.
That's not a bad
but I
idea.
didn't
That was
realize
great. 880.
how delayed
Well, yes.
the radio broadcast is to the game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No,
Crazy.
It's because the radio picks up all that ambient noise, and sometimes you get cussed. I wonder if it's like,
Thanks, Phil. I don't know.
If you turn on SAP, I've never done this on my phone because I haven't needed it. But some TVs have that SAP.
I don't know.
Spanish,
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody call the station with something like that. I don't know. I'll tell you the thing about Amazon, because what I do is, especially with young kids, you get this. When I probably should just do it before and set up like record the series. But every day, I don't know, 3, 4, 5. Like if I'm still in my office, whatever. When I get home from the show, I will just record. Yes, SNY. So if I start the game at 7:20. Dinner runs late, coming home from football practice, which I did the other night with my son, then I could speed through the first, I actually kind of prefer that. So when I saw the game was on Amazon, I'm like, I'm not watching one pitch of the Yankees on Amazon. Because to go, and I have Amazon on every TV.
Yeah. To
go from Amazon to SN, it's a pain in the ass.
No, it is. But the reason I did it is because if I start late, you can move Amazon. You can move it. You can
like a
control
DVR device?
Yeah, it's like
I haven't
a
even
DVR.
tried that actually. Okay.
Yeah, because when you first log on, it says watch live.
Oh, that's right.
Or watch from the beginning.
That's right.
And so
that's right.
I tended to go that route because it gets busy in my house.
Listen, we got a lot of little ones running around. A lot of little Indians out there, Cowboys and Indians. All right, it's basically 10:20 here on the Fan, Tiki and Tierney. So, again, all the attention goes to the Subway Series itself, but we're all smart enough to know that these seasons for, both teams will be defined in the other games. And the stretch coming up, obviously, for the Mets and the Braves, gave it to you. It's interesting. Now the Yankees get it. We got to incorporate the Yankees angle as well. We'll do that coming up next. The Yankees now have a chance to start smacking some people around. And quite frankly, it's been a long time since they've done that. Far from perfect. A lot of mistakes. A lot of empty at-bats. Really only two guys hitting right now, Benintendi and Judge. But now you go to Oakland and you take on the Angels, who are not good. You got a chance to really stabilize. Do you now have a renewed conviction in the Yankees?